Well, hello visuals and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a Visual Guys movie review. It's finally here, the long-awaited, the very much highly anticipated Zack Snyder's Justice League. I have literally, about 2 minutes ago, I quickly went downstairs, had another smoke, made a new coffee. I've literally just finished the film, and oh my god, warning that there won't be too many spoilers on it. Well, I'm not sure if you can spoil this film per se, because on paper, it's the same film. That's on paper. But there's a few nice little twists and turns and different little moments and stuff. So overly, I'm not going to go spoiler heavy. I'm not going to tell you everything that happens. But I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. This is my review for Zack Snyder's Justice League, spoiler free. Like I said, this was highly anticipated. This got all the hype and the trend and the craze behind it all. Feels like it was years ago that people were getting behind this and saying, we want Zack Snyder's cut, we want Zack Snyder's cut. And we finally got it. Now, as well, bearing in mind, a lot of you might not disagree. I've already seen a lot of comments online, people who had seen it just slightly before me and stuff saying, it's the same movie, this is still crap, Zack Snyder can't direct a superhero film anyway. You can have your own thoughts and opinions. This is purely my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But definitely know what you think in the comments below, and we can have a nice little conversation about it all and stuff. Because I'm going to put it out there and say right now, I absolutely friggin' loved it. The DCEU on its whole, it's been somewhat messy. Every now and then they'll try and center themselves with the likes of Aquaman and Wonder Woman. It still feels like a big mess, and the Justice League, the original one we got, wasn't awful. I didn't hate it. It had its moments. There was a few, plot points and story development which I didn't really get behind and agree with. But I didn't hate it. I still thought, okay, it's one of the better films of the DCEU. This is probably now, for me, the best DCEU film, for me, that we've got today, because, Jesus Christ, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Certainly is a long old film. It was, I think it was 4 hours and 2 minutes or something like that, with no cutscene at the end. But there's a beautiful, lovely scene towards the end that was so much fucking fun. I won't tell you what it is. You'll get there yourself. Oh my god. Last film, give me the smiles and the giggles and cool. But it failed to deliver a good amount of them, and it really failed to fully support and build a structure around certain characters like Cyborg, like Flash. Whereas this version, we can truly get behind. There's a moment with Flash where he's doing his crazy shenanigans, and there's the way that it looks and it's filmed. He's running along, there's stuff happening behind him. Again, I don't want to say what it is, I want you to get there yourself, which just looked really cool. I loved how they spent a bit more time, well, they've got plenty of time to do it this time around, 4 hours long, a bit more time with Cyborg and Flash. I mean, Wonder Woman, fair enough. Batman, we already know about. Superman, we already know about. Aquaman, got a half amount of decent bit of time, but I feel like the first one, the original one, failed to really get behind them characters and develop them individually. And this film, I don't know where they're going to go with it in the future, because the DCEU stop start. We're going here, we're going there. As far as I'm aware, they're not building off this. But I really want them to build off this. I hope this generates enough love and praise and heat to go forward, and they can build off this particular film, because this got me so excited for the future of the DCEU. Then I realised, like, oh shit, I think this was them just chucking it out there and leaving it there. But this was a great way to counterpart the MCU and how you can build on certain stuff and ramifications from different things and all that carry on. I know there's some shit going on with particular actors and whatnot, but I would love for them to build off this film. Automatically get praises for that, for developing characters a hell of a lot better. There was a few moments as well from like the original about, Batman's backup plan and all that carry on. In the other one, it felt a bit corny and cheesy. This one, it fell through. Didn't fall through. It felt right and it felt natural going forward. The team gathering, it didn't just feel like Suicide Squad or even the original Justice League, where it was just, here's your characters, right, he's quick, he's a cyborg, mash them together, save the day. The way that the day is saved, the way that the Justice League comes together and truly beats Steppenwolf was fucking outstanding. I can't really spoil that bit because we all know Steppenwolf. Like, it's on paper, it is the same film. And I've got to say as well, Steppenwolf is one of them villains I could just watch him get his face punched in all day, every day. He's one of them villains that I just don't mind when they get their head kicked in. It just looks fucking awesome. It's so satisfactory. In Darkseid, yes, the other films alluded to it. We got little bits of symbolism and, references, blah, blah. We get to see full-on Darkseid. Now, you could have built obviously they're doing it their own way. They don't want to be the MCU. You could have built it like the Thanos effect, have little murmurings here, there, and everywhere. But to actually see him and get him, I mean, I reckon altogether we might have had about 5 minutes of screen time with him in different shots, maybe a little bit more. It was so exciting because obviously he's their big baddie. He's the DC Universe's big baddie amongst other big baddies, but he's one of them anyway. And it was so cool. They made him look so scary and dominant and just horrible looking. And I just thought, I want him to come back because obviously the Justice League win at the end. And there's a great little moment where they're looking at each other and I'm like, this motherfucker's going to come back and he wants to get some fucking revenge. I want to see it happen. And oh my God, at the end, we get, well, fuck. We get a beautiful, it was already rumoured and announced and stuff, but you get a nice fucking beautiful certain alien appear at the end and I was like, holy shit, get the fuck in there. Awesome. I forgot all about that. That's one I'll let you get there yourself. Obviously, we know Joker's back in this. Well, Joker is in this. Jared Leto. This, for me, even though it wasn't on screen for a lot of time, much better Joker than Suicide Squad. Deathstroke, I was going to say that's Deathstroke. Oh my God, the same sort of little cutscene at the end. Steppenwolf himself, Steppenwolf looked a lot more better in this, looked more menacing and scary and fierce and stuff, so hats off to them bits. There was, you could maybe argue as well in this film, there was certain points they didn't need to extend and drag out as much as they did, like when we're at Themyscira, everything going on there, when Bruce Wayne's looking for Aquaman, Arthur, there's a bit where he goes to the scene, there's a big song and you're like, do we really need this? But I was just sat back chilling, relaxing. You know, I've took a couple of days off work before my holidays run out. And I was just sat working. I thought, I don't actually mind that. There's this little town that's obviously idolises him. And it's like a little send-off ceremony song for him and shit. And they love chucking in the old sort of, how can I word it? You know, like the godly sort of ancient songs when they're in Themyscira. Sometimes with Aquaman related. I love, to this day as well, Wonder Woman's that I probably did the wrong sort of tune there, but you know, the song that comes in with her, so fucking cool. Somebody will come to me and said, they didn't need to drag this out, this particular scene, we didn't really need to say. I can understand why. This is just a director's cut. There's nothing cut. It's the full film without anything cut. That's exactly what you get. So, you know, it's like watching Lord of the Rings Extended Edition. Yeah, I still think I would have to disagree with them people. Initially, I would have thought, I didn't need to put that in there. But I thought, no, watching the director's cut, and it helped flow the story so much better. It showed, which DC haven't been too great at it, the DCU rather, apart from maybe in the solo Wonder Woman films and stuff, showing the true human element side to the hero. So there's Wonder Woman behind her, what's truly behind her. There's Aquaman, what's truly behind it. You know, showing the human elements, learning a bit more about Cyborg and how he feels about turning into what he's been turned into. Seeing the Flash being a hell of a lot more important in this film, like he should be. Yeah, the true character development for the alter ego, the superhero, and their counterpart was a hell of a lot better in this. Drag of the coffee before it goes too cold. It's actually it's fucking freezing as it is anyway. So I was quite happy because me and Chris as well, we give a lot of stick for DC for just sort of, you know how, I don't want to keep comparing it to the MCU, but unfortunately I think we kind of have to maybe, how they've nicely steady flowed their characters and big build-ups and steady flow, whereas the DCEU for us has just felt rushed and just chuck characters in there, we'll learn about them later. This was nice, and if you want to get all your big names in a film and make, you know, the Flash and Cyborg and whatnot, and Aquaman get their full proper debuts without having a solo film first, this was a good way to do it, because like I said, we understood the characters, we saw their point of view, their narrative, what's happening with them, a little bit of somewhat of their history, what's going on with them outside of their team-ups, outside of their, you know, they're all, you know, Barry Allen, outside of being the Flash, we saw a few more moments with his dad and stuff in jail, and I can't wait to see what they do with Flash going forward, because again, I know there's a lot of actor stuff going down that may or may not be happening. Like I said, the other one did give me the feels, but this one ended me with a big smile on my face, goosebumps, giving me the proper feels, you know, the motivational hero speech. We still see the same scene where Bruce Wayne goes in with Diana, and they're looking at the big hall, making the Hall of Justice and whatnot, the big round table, 6 chairs, and she's like, but room for more. And it really fucking hit home, and then you think the film's going to end, and another awesome scene happens, and then you're just like, oh my fucking god. There's a certain with the Joker scene, there's a certain team up. Again, I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say what's going on there, what's truly happening or anything. I wanted to experience yourself, which I was like, oh my god, I fucking dig this team up. We got to see Barry Allen, how he looked when he was coming through the Speed Force to warn Bruce Wayne back in Batman v Superman. Was it Batman? Yeah, Batman v Superman about the kid. Or was it Batman v Superman. We got to see what he was truly looking like and stuff. This film was just so good. Superman. I'm not a big fan of Superman. Regular viewers of the channel will know I'm not a big fan of Superman. But even seeing him all black suited up and stuff really got me going. When he eventually appeared, all the scenes we've already got before truly looked awesome. Him, when Bruce Wayne's like, you know, about the bank and all that carry on, it's still got us going and fucking happy. And Zack Snyder, right, okay, they look cool, they look fucking awesome, but Zack Snyder really, really loves his slow-mo shots, doesn't he? He absolutely beautifully loves his slow-mo shots. And sometimes, there was a couple of them that I didn't think was necessary. There was a, you know, did we need that? And they've got an obsession as well with really making Barry, you know how the Flash TV show shows a lot of him just quick whizzing, whereas this one, Barry Allen's majority of it's all slow-mo stuff, which, again, it looks on its own, looks fucking fantastic. But I don't think we always, it's kind of like Peaky Blinders. They always do that slow-mo shot with the sparks, and I'm like, okay, you don't need that every time somebody walks. Every time somebody walks, sparks, slow-mo. It's kind of like this, but like I said, I know aesthetically it looks amazing. So, I mean, I'm not really twining because I'm like, alright, it looks cool. But I guess creatively you don't always need it, but that's just my thoughts. And yeah, I really want to see what happens with this particular version of Ben Affleck's Batman going forward. And we kind of already know after this what happened to Aquaman and Wonder Woman, her films, even though they're like prequels. But I want to see this built upon because it was really fucking awesome. Again, we like I said, on paper, we know what happens. Justice League forms, you know, Mother Box shenanigans. And we kind of get a bigger and better understanding of Mother Boxes as well. If you're new to DC and DC Comics and whatnot, and you're not 100% sure what Mother Box is, it gives you a little bit more info anyway. And there's a couple of scenes I'm watching it going, did that happen in the other one? I can't fucking remember. Well, I'm pretty sure they didn't go too heavy on the origin. Remember when Wonder Woman's talking about the first time Darkseid come, and you know the Themyscirans and the Atlanteans and all that, and the old gods, you know, Zeus and Achilles. Was it Achilles? Not Achilles. No, the old gods. You know, she's talking about that, and the you know, the lanterns and stuff are there. It shows you that a lot in a lot better, great detail, and it just looked, and it looked awesome. It was friggin' awesome. I enjoyed it so freaking much. And there's a bit obviously where Wonder Woman, she's you know, the flame's been hit. She goes to the little old building, you know, to like the, you know, warn men, but men won't know, but she will. She finds it, she travels down, she sees like an old drawing of Darkseid, and it was quite fucking scary. It kind of like, oh, because her face is like, and I'm like, oh, I mean, even though I know this character, I'm like, oh shit, son. It was quite chilling and scary, and I wanted to come again at some point. I want there to be a big badass. Even their team up moment at the end, you know, where we've seen it before. All six of them stood there. You know, they've just won the day. It was so fucking cool, but this time around it felt a bit more epic. I really feel like they went through a lot more in this short time as a team. Again, I know it was a much longer film, so it's going to feel that way anyway, but it felt like they truly bonded. So that moment they were all stood together, I was like, unified, the Justice League are ready to fucking rock and roll. A moment with us comic book fans have been waiting for, because the DC films, unfortunately, a lot of them get a lot of slack because they're not always particularly being done very well. Whereas us as long-term fans know that Justice League are awesome, Aquaman's pretty cool, and it's pretty cool. Well, I'll forget my next point. I always get muttered because I'm so excited. So we all know that they're awesome. And speaking of awesome, I'm still to this day, right, Aquaman has always been a cool character. Fair enough, he's been the butt of a lot of jokes, you know, he's just the guy that talks to fish, yada, yada, yada. And the later comics, he started to get a bit more nitty and gritty and a bit different looking and stuff. But I still think Jason Momoa has made Aquaman the coolest motherfucker on the planet. There's that moment where he's like, he gets caught off Cyborg after fighting parademons, and he's like, my man. I remember when I first heard that, and I was just walking around the house going, my man. Because Jason Momoa, all Samoans are just too cool as fuck. Samoans are like the coolest people on the planet, and he's made that character and owned it, and he's made it so fucking badass. I fucking love it. He's killed Aquaman in a good way. The film, like I said, it's hard to say, oh, you'll like this, because ultimately, again, on fucking paper, shut up, Xbox. You've seen this film, but yeah, still, the use of songs in this particular film, amazing. The visual look of it, when I still get excited when Superman's first, he's reborn and he fights off against Wonder Woman and stuff. The Justice League, the early days of the Justice, whatever you want to call them, the newly founded the Justice League before the Justice League. In Squares, I still like them bits and stuff, and the action scenes, and I always remember Barry Allen being scared and shocked when Superman's holding the rest of the team back and he looks over at he's looking that way, isn't he? At Barry. So visually, it still looks great. The story feels it's at some point of a little bit of a slow burn, but I think this particular version benefited from that without a shadow of a doubt. So I mean, yeah, nice little slow burn, a better understanding of these characters and what they're about and who they are and stuff, and their own personal battles. And their own personal stories going forward. And like I said at the start, music, it felt a lot better in this one. The story was better laid out, better looking characters, and a better way to build the future of the DCEU. I think that's a good way to end my review, if I've just reviewed it or if I've just rambled. There we go, visuals. That was my review of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Still one or two things that I'm not completely, obviously, over the moon about, but this is going to get a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I thoroughly fucking enjoyed it. Like I said, it's your own opinion. You might still think it's an awful film. You might think it was boring. You might think it was too long. You might, whatever it is, may think. None of us are going to be right. None of us are going to be wrong. If there's one person in the world that likes this film, they're still right because they like it for them. But definitely know what you think in the comments below. One of you visuals have actually put on my Facebook after I put a status about saying they're going to watch it, and you asked me, would I go back to the old one? And I said to you on Facebook, personally, no. I would stick to this one now in the future. But you might feel completely different. So definitely let me know in the comments below. Get the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League comments going. Apart from that, visuals, hopefully stuck it to the end of this review. You can Wabooski. I should really get more reviews. I did the early days of the channel. I did a hell of a lot more reviews, not just comic book related stuff. I need to get back into it because I love giving my thoughts and opinions on films. Go on with me. I fucking adore films. Of any category, rom-coms, fucking dark, fucking whatever. So yeah, I want to get back to that. I don't have a stupid amount of time. I work way too much. I know, feel sorry for me, but hopefully I can get to that in the future. But visuals, thanks so much for watching. Yeah, like I said, that was my review of Justice League. Solid Zack Snyder's Justice League. Solid 8 out of 10. Visuals, thanks so much for watching. Remember to keep being you and keep it on.